Hey guys, I'm learning TFT and I'm sharing my learnings with you so that you can learn and I can learn better as well. In this video, I'm going to share with you every way that I study TFT that helped me hit Challenger in just 172 games. I am preparing for the Tacticians Trials tournament this weekend, and so I'm going to use this as a way for me to prepare, but also to share with you all my methodology. So some of these methods I'm going to really dive in deep, and some I'm just gonna gloss over the surface so that you get a understanding of how these things work. This is all inspired by a tweet that I posted that went viral on X, has 50 almost 55,000 views now, and the basic idea I said is most players play too much and study too little. If you truly want to climb, studying is more effective, especially early in a patch. I hit Challenger in just 172 games by studying more than playing. And then I talked about a number of the different ways that I study. So I'm going to go through each of these methods and kind of talk more about them. And one of the benefits of studying in this way that one of the viewers mention, or the people mentioned, is in this thread here is interesting. So Tumento was saying that it's hard for him to put in that time and effort to learn. And Kiro is making the point that when you study, your LP tends to skyrocket. And if you don't like being stuck, then studying is the best way to unstuck yourself. But he's saying that Tumento is saying that his brain wants dopamine and playing gets you that dopamine. And Kira responds by saying, well, the biggest dopamine hit is to like climb really rapidly to like hit Challenger, right? Or be able to play in a tournament or get to Challenger in a really efficient manner, right? And so, yes, part of it is that it can be hard to motivate yourself to study, but the studying will lead to the dopamine. And the ideal situation is where you can find energy and dopamine in the studying itself, in the learning itself. And that's the way you can become really elite. So I'm going to go through all of the ways that I study, and at some point, because this weekend I have the Tacticians Trial, so I'm not gonna put as much work into like editing this video and I will eventually, I think, if this video gets popular enough, put timestamps in the description of all the different ways that I study, and that way you could jump to those sections. But I don't think I'm going to do that right away since I'm prepping for tournament. Before I dive into that, I'm going to do, and I'm also going to cover some study methods I didn't mention in the tweet. But before I do that, I'm going to first talk about meta mindset around studying. So this is really the psychology of learning and studying. So first idea is motion does not equal progress. Do not confuse motion and progress. A rocking horse keeps moving but does not make any progress, by Alfred Montepere. And this is the key idea behind people playing too much, especially when you are hard stuck, especially when you maybe feel like you're constantly low rolling, you don't have a good grasp on the meta, you're just rocking back and forth. There's no motion does not equal progress, right? Another key idea is this idea of slope greater than y-intercept. If you think about like this chart here, let's see if I can make it bigger. It doesn't matter if someone is starting off higher than you, right? If they're flat, like someone is at a higher LP than you, if they're flat and you're lower than them, but you have a positive slope, all that matters is time. With enough time, you will overtake them, right? And the way that you have a positive slope is by studying. Sure, playing games might be able to help you have a slight positive slope if you approach it in a deliberate manner, but the best way to have a more positive slope is studying. Sharpen your saw. Will Rogers said, when you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. So this is the same idea of motion and progress do not equate to each other. Same thing if you're sawing a tree and your saw is dull, that's far less efficient than going to sharpen your saw, coming back and chopping down the tree in maybe 10% of the time. Stephen Covey said, we must never become too busy sawing to take time to sharpen the saw. Confucius said, the man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. So if your goal is, and all of these ideas, by the way, apply to life, not just to TFT, right? You want to accomplish any goal in life. Especially the more ambitious it is and the more hard stuck you feel in any area of your life, the more important these ideas are. You want to move a mountain, start by carrying away small stones. What might seem like something insignificant, like many of these ideas that I'm talking about with these study methods. Sure, any of those things might feel like a small stone. But if your goal is to move a mountain, to get to Challenger, to whatever, hit Diamond, Master, move those small stones, because you move enough small stones and you're able to move a mountain. Luc de Clapierre, I don't know how to say his name, I think he's a French philosopher, said, quick fortunes of all kinds are the least solid, because it is rare that they are the work of merit. Ripe fruit through careful labor always comes late. So this idea is, if you're just spamming games or you're looking for a quick hack, a one-trick way that you can climb in a certain patch, like, sure, you might get lucky, you might win the lottery one time, but if you really want to have a reliable and consistent way of reaching your goals, that's through careful labor. It's through hard work, it's through practice, it's through studying, it's through learning, it's through moving these small stones. By the way, if you want to jump ahead of this meta mindset stuff to the actual study methodology, take a look at the timestamp. I'll at least have a timestamp to jump ahead of the meta mindset. Stanislas Dehaene, in his book How We Learn, he's a neuroscientist that studied learning. To get information into long-term memory, it is essential to study the material, then test yourself, rather than spending all your time studying. So this is about studying methodology. And so I talk more in my methodology about how much of this specifically applies to VOD reviewing pros. You want to not just watch passively, you want to pause, make predictions, and then compare your prediction to the actual result. And that error correction feedback process is how you learn the most efficiently. Learning occurs only if the brain selects the appropriate sensory inputs, attention, uses them to produce a prediction, active engagement, and evaluates the accuracy of the prediction, error feedback. And this is how AI learns as well. Like when you have an LLM that's, you have a training data set, and then you want the LLM to try to make predictions, and then you have a error feedback loop that helps it improve its predictions, right? Like this is how computer science AI algorithms work. And so that's the same thing you want to do to your brain. Like I basically view at the start of a patch or set, you get a large sample size of data, whether that means looking at MetaTFT, looking at like the training tool I built is like, I can look at power-ups. I can, let me see if I have a better example. So here I have 3 options. I make a prediction. I think he's going to pick, he's already hovering over this, but pick Bludgeoner, and then I can compare it with what Robin actually made the decision on, right? And so I created a tool that lets me make predictions on power-ups. I can make predictions on augments. I actually just added in this one predictions on stage 1 holds. So I took screenshots at the start of each round. I try to predict what he's going to buy, what he might sell, and then compare it with what he actually does, right? And so this prediction and error feedback process is how you learn most efficiently. Gary Kasparov, a chess master, said, "It's not the amount of time that really counts, it's the quality of your study and how you use your time." So not passive studying, not passive viewing, but active engagement with what you are learning. And related to that is taking notes. So writing down what you are learning is really effective. This reminds me of like high school and college, where I had some teachers who would allow me to you have one piece of paper, one 8x11 paper, and you can write as many notes as you want and bring it into the test. And what I found through those experiences is that I would write in super small font and I would fill up the whole page. But what I learned from that is most of the time in the test, I didn't actually reference the notes much. And the reason for that is because it is through the process of writing down the notes that the information gets assimilated into my brain more efficiently so that I can retrieve it without even having to look at the paper. And so when I put together like my meta-analysis around, every comp, and I break down what the notes, conditions, boards, power-ups, augments, items, etc. are for every single comp, I do my unit tiers. I have every comp, I have these notes through my study process. And that is the equivalent of my high school finals or college finals, where I can bring in that paper. And yes, I have this document while I'm playing, but I'm rarely referencing, especially after enough reps, I don't even need the notes anymore. But the process of writing down the notes is still really important because that helps your brain identify that this is important to store into long-term memory. Kasparov said, "I studied all the latest games from the leading players and carefully noted their innovations. Then I would analyze them and try to improve on them. To me, the opening systems were an avenue for creativity, not simply a matter of imitation." So related to that is, like, I recently put together a video on Ironbog around some of my learnings from his APAC TPC first place. And I also went through like Cambulay, and I'm taking screenshots. And I might actually review some of this later. Let me actually make a note to do that. View Cambulay notes. So when you are VOD reviewing top players, it's really being deliberate and specific about what you are gaining from them, and then figuring out how you can use them as not just imitate them, but see the deeper patterns around how you can take their style and apply it to your own game. This one's really essential. Kasparov said, "I learned to enjoy the study and analysis process itself, and not just to see it as a necessary evil or means to an end." This reminds me of, who was it? This was a documentary I watched from Roger Federer, one of the goats of tennis. In the documentary, this was a documentary when he was retiring, showed the last week of his professional career. And he was at the gym for the last time, and he was sharing a story about how when he first went into the gym, when he was like his first 1 or 2 years playing pro golf, it always felt like a grind to him, right? Like that's like the equivalent of studying or practice. And the thing is, and this is a story that is over and over across all domains. Like Kobe had similar stories, LeBron had similar stories, Steph Curry had similar stories, where in the beginning, it feels like this studying, practice, training, strength training, mental training process is a grind. But the pros, the ones that become really great, they actually learn to enjoy it. There was a story with LeBron where I think after he had just won the NBA title, the next day he was back at the gym because he just like that was just part of his routine. He enjoyed the process of going to the gym. And same thing with Federer. He in the final week of before his retirement, he was saying that he was gonna miss it. Like he was gonna miss the hard work at the gym because he learned to enjoy that process. And so when you can learn to enjoy the studying process itself and build that into part of your routine, that's when stuff really can fly in the long run, right? That's when you guarantee a positive slope. It doesn't become a grind. You don't have risk of burnout, right? If you're forcing yourself to do something you don't enjoy, at some point, even if you have a positive slope, you're going to crash and burn, right? So how do you create a mental way to enjoy the process of learning and studying? Anders Ericsson said, the most effective learning requires a well-defined task with an appropriate difficulty level, informative feedback, and opportunities for repetition and corrections of error. When all these elements are present, they use the term deliberate practice to characterize training activities. The deliberate practice is what we really want to engage in, not passive practice, not, practice for the sake of practice, but really intentional, deliberate practice, which means that, and I think I compare this with just passively watching like a YouTube video, right? Like that's why when you watch me analyzing a pro who's maybe giving a talk in TFT, I'm always taking notes. I'm always trying to critically think about it. When I have a coaching session with a pro, I'm taking notes on the side around what I can learn. And then I'm going back and reviewing those notes. I'm thinking about how I can proactively apply them to my game. Actually, on my desk here, I have a list of 3 to 4 things that I write down from my practice process around what I want to focus on in the games that I'm playing. And so before every game, I'll look at that list, and then I'm going to have a mental note to focus on those things. So right now, for example, I'm really trying to heavily emphasize on building strongest board, having a strong opener. I've been sacrificing my early game too much to try to think about what my board can transition into late game. I also wrote down I want to leave about 10 to 15 seconds after my 4-2 roll down to position, to re-itemize, to move my power-ups. Because I've had many situations where I'm basically losing a life on stage 4 because I'm doing that too late. Right? So these are all ways that you can do deliberate practice. David Bradford and Carol Robbins said, the only mistake is refusing to learn from your mistakes. So going back to the rocking chair, right? Like if you're just spamming games, you're playing over and over again, you're not really examining what you're doing wrong, you're not learning from your bot 4s, then that's the biggest mistake. Failure, I actually talked about this in my previous tweet. The only game that you truly lose is the one you fail to learn from, right? Like if you are losing 5 games in a row, you're bot 4ing 5 games in a row, that doesn't actually matter if you are learning from your mistakes. And then you are creating a deliberate practice process around figuring out how you can extract learnings from it and then revisit those learnings and apply them to your future games. Then that game is an investment. That game's not a loss. It's an investment that you are making into your future. And this for sure applies to any domain in life that you want to get better at. Susan Rocco and Harvey Mazer in the book Semrad, and this is actually, I think Semrad, they were writing about Semrad, who I think he was a professor. I don't actually recall off the top of my head. But he said, the only fuel for learning is the sadness you feel from your mistakes. It's important not to waste this fuel. So when you have a bot 4 and you feel like shit about it, that is fuel. And when you are wasting that fuel, you're not using that energy to then convert it to extract a learning that you can apply into the future. Then it's just wasteful energy. and you just feel shit about it without being able to convert that shit energy into positive energy. Rihanna West said, when you decide you truly do not ever want to feel a certain way again, you set out on a journey of self-awareness, learning, and growth that has you radically reinvent who you are. So similar idea. Nathaniel Brandon said, psychologist, said, in a world in which the total of human knowledge is doubling about every 10 years, our security can only rest on our ability to learn. And I've talked about this many times in my meta mindsets in past videos, but I find TFT to be an amazing metaphor for life because of how rapidly TFT changes. The 2-week patch cycle, the 4-month set, new sets, especially in this set, because of power-ups, there's new tech being discovered every day. Like, and actually right now, and something I'll be diving into in my process is, oh, cool. And I regularly look at Twitter, but like this socialite movement for Mentor Rise, like the discovery of socialite for the Mentor Rise board has probably increased the AVP for that line by like 0.5 or something. Like this, yeah, this line I think is actually becoming S tier. And actually we can look at the stats. Like the AVP has been going down while the pick rate has been going up, which usually does not occur, which tells me that this line is actually probably much stronger than even these stats suggest right now, because people are still discovering how to play it. And I just released a video where I did a coaching session with Marcel about it. But especially in this set, like the first 2 weeks, there almost was like a new comp being discovered every other day. And so when you have so much information about what you're doing constantly changing, and you know, when a new patch comes out, the stuff that you learned last patch may not actually be that relevant anymore. So the more important thing is the fundamentals for TFT, right? But even more fundamental than the fundamentals is learning how to learn. Like that is the fundamental skill that branches across all domains of life. And when you think about the way that the world today is evolving with AI, I think it's not just doubling every 10 years. Like with AI LLMs, like it's even more important. You think about job security. I think I just saw a stat where the unemployment rate of new college grads has hit the same level of unemployment for non-college grads for the first time in like, I think something like 50 plus years. And that again, to me, goes back to like, nobody is safe. Like AI is replacing jobs, just like in TFT, this stuff is changing so rapidly. Your most important skill is the ability to learn how to learn and to study. Peter Drucker said, the only skill that will be important in the 21st century is the skill of learning new skills. Everything else will become obsolete over time. John Gall said, a system that ignores feedback will eventually be shaken to pieces by repeated violent contact with the environment it is trying to ignore. This goes back to the rocking chair, right? You're digging a hole, you're stuck. Well, stop digging. Start looking around. Start collecting feedback on your environment. Start learning. This reminds me of like, you know, and I think this applies to any domain of life, which is pretty much everyone whose careers are threatened by AI. Like you gotta figure out how to learn more effectively to move up the pyramid of intelligence so that you can leverage AI instead of being replaced by AI, because it's the lower levels that are going to be replaced first. And if you can get to those top levels, then you have extreme leverage, more leverage than anyone in the past. George Santayana said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. So this goes back to analyzing your bot fours and understanding why you made those mistakes, and make a commitment to yourself never to repeat those mistakes again. That was a key learning I got from Appy's doing coaching early on. Isaac Newton said, if I've seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. So this goes back to VOD reviewing the best players. Ralph Coster and Will Wright said, boredom is the brain casting about for new information. It is the feeling you get when there are no new patterns to absorb. So when you are spamming games and you feel bored or you feel stuck, that's a sign. It means time to go back to learning, right? If you're not having fun playing TFT, it means it's time to go back to learning. It's time to go back to studying. All right, so that's kind of the theory behind a lot of these ideas around studying over playing. And now I'm going to go through like my study process, some of which will be to just review, like to share with you high level, some of which I'm going to do a deep dive into. All right. So I'm gonna, okay, I'll just go through this list in order so that way I can remember where I am. Review your own VODs. So the way I look at my own VODs is I use an app called Outplayed. And you can also use OBS. But you can't do this on mobile or tablet. And so going back to reviewing your own VODs, one thing here is I like to kind of have hypotheses on where your weak spots are. Like there was a point where I was, in fact, I might just do that now because I have a hypothesis that I have a weak spot in my early game. That was what I talked about earlier. So what you can do with MetaTFT is you can go through your match details and look at your round by round results. I've not been doing that well because I took a week off to sit for snapshots. And I'm kind of rusty after. I was doing a lot of studying, but I'm kind of rusty from executing the game. Okay, so what you can do here is you can look at your stage by stage win and loss rate to identify if you have consistent weak spots in your game. So I think what I want to do now is to break down across the games, or at least a decent number of games I played yesterday, to see if I'm like what my stage 2 specifically looks like. I think I'm gonna focus on stage 2 and stage 4. Okay, so game was this Fast 9 Rise. Stage 2. Let's just do all this. Then final placement. All right, I had 1 in 4. 1, 2, and 3. So this doesn't always capture the information, and then I think I went 0-4. And I died. This was a 7. My goal here is to look for patterns. This was Yumi Prodigy. Stage 2, I went 2 and 3. 0-5. 1, 3, 2. This Udyr Ash. Stage 2, 1, 1. No, 1, 2. Yeah, so far this is My early game looks like ass. 1, 4. This one was 6. So again, by looking at this, I can then have a better understanding of when I am going back to my VODs, where I can focus on. This was a crew. This is a Malphite Jin. 05 4-1. Stage 4 was also a 4-1. Fast 9 Varus. So this is Varus for the first game. Dude, my early game sucked so bad this set of games. Okay, this one's a top 4. Presumably, okay, 1-1. 2-3. Wow. I did not have a positive win rate in stage 2 for all of these games. Okay, I am way emphasizing. I'm way overemphasizing setting up for my late game. Two, 3. Three, 2. Okay. Enter Rise. The other cool thing about studying is this energizes me. When I was playing yesterday, I was like, oh shit, like I'm falling down a rabbit hole. Oh hey, I finally full streaked a stage. But this already like points to me like, oh shit, like there's a clear leak I have. There's a way I can fix this, and it gives me hope, it gives me energy and motivation. Whereas if I just keep pounding my head to try to win games right now, like it doesn't energize me as much. Like I'm not going into the games excited. Okay, Udyr Ash. 05 1 4 4-1. Actually, all my mid game is horrible too. This is the only mid game that I had. No, this one too. Like basically, Mouth Jin, the only mid game, only strong mid game I had, and those were second and a fifth. I think that indicates to me I need to be holding more units in stage 2 that are going to help my stage 3, specifically 2 and 3 costs. That if I high roll a 2-star can stabilize me a lot more, or reroll. Like reroll is just going to be a lot stronger in the mid game, especially for tournament. If I'm trying to top 4, like Mouth Jin is going to be one of the best ways to do that. Clear Ash. 1, 4, 2. Okay, just 2 more games to analyze. What is this? This was a Vi hero augment. Okay. So the only, oops, I'll try to highlight. Want it to be 2. All right, good enough. Okay, we'll use this one. Okay, so 5-0. Wait, I had one. One game where I had a positive record in stage 2. Okay, and then yeah, I'll use orange for like sure. Four games where I had a season stage 3, and then all right, I had more stage 4s, but this basically tells me I'm still overemphasizing stage 4. Okay, so good 5-0 early or mid game, second or fifth. Even though I'm going 4-1 here, I'm still going 5th, 6th, 5th, 7th, 8th, second here. Like I need to really prioritize my early game. Okay, so this is 15.3 first stage analysis. Okay, now I'm going to use this and look into my VODs around what I could have done differently to play the early game. Let's just start with my latest game. So I think this one, yeah, this was Fast 9 Bears here. So let's see if I can identify an alternate line I could have taken. Already this screams at me I could play Prodigy from this spot. What's the portal? I don't know what the portal is. Probably be Star Student here. I have been taking over 9,000, too used to taking over 9,000. I don't think it's that good after the nerf, the mana regen. So the other thing is I'll take screenshots and then stop taking over 9k power up. Okay, so this is me VOD reviewing. Yeah, with a rod, I should just be committing to Yumi here. The thing is, I think I got baited by Nar. Yeah, with that bow drop, got baited by Nar. Baited by Fast 9 Nar. The other thing is that like Fast 9 Varus, it's very conditional, A tier. Like I need multiple conditions. I need multiple econ sources to pull it off. So if I think I should just commit to Yumi here, and I think this game. There's see how many people ended up playing towards Yumi this game. One, yeah, just one other player. Yeah, I think this is a Yumi spot. It's got baited by this bow. Angle Yumi greater than Golden Edge Nar Fast 9 Bears. Rod drop. Bow can be red buff or Void Staff. And actually, this can be Yumi or Mentor Rise. Especially for tournament, I think I should just avoid Fast 9 Bears. It's just too high variance. Unless I need a first. Or like perfect conditions. Like in win streak. Nar or something. Okay. I took patient study. That's fine. How did I even end up trying to go Nar? Oh, okay. So from this spot, could just go Lucian. I think I was thinking I needed to slam here. Rage Blade slam and then play towards Ash. Is there an Ash player in this lobby? One Crystal Gambit player. could have played towards Rise. Like, man, I had a perfect Prodigy angle here. If I just held, yeah. And then this is where I got baited by Golden Edge Gnar. Okay. So sticking with the pattern of trying to identify my early game and what alternate lines. I assume this should be Yumi. Could I have angle towards Rise here? Maybe it was actually stick with Rise. Keep. I have the Aatrox too, right? Like this goes back to strongest board. I just won first fight, and then for some reason I'm playing a weaker board. Yeah, that makes no sense. Play strongest board. Don't sell Aatrox 2 to commit to Yumi with Battle Academia. In fact, I think I should just forget about interest as much. Focus on stage 2 more. Right? Like, look at this. I had 1 positive record in stage 2. Okay. True interest. This should be a play. Aatrox. And then I think I pop Anvil and try to slam JG. No. I mean, the thing is, I want to be able to flex Rise and Prodigy. Do I level and slam an item? I have reroll transfer. I don't have a lot of gold. I also haven't been playing enough Kaisa. Maybe this with glove. I play this into Zaya. Zaya with an IE or LW slam. And then play into Star Guardian or Kaisa. Strongest board here. Strongest board is actually Zaya with IE slam. Or like a steadfast slam on. Actually, strongest is probably with steadfast slam on Aatrox. Especially since I have round 2. Level for heavyweight. Level for Zach heavyweight. And then yeah. My worry is that by leveling with Zach, I have no 1 cost. So I think I play around Zaya. Gives me better odds of higher cost units. Lets me preserve HP. Like, I think I'm actually really strong. Let's see if I can beat the next boards if I were to have kept. Like, what's the strength of this next board? Yeah, I would have. Well, I think I beat this anyway. Okay, but let's see if the third fight. If I have an Aatrox 2 here with Steadfast Stoneplate, I probably still beat this, right? Round 2 Steadfast Stoneplate here. Yeah, I think I win this. Yeah. I could have 3-streaked here. Okay, so just play strongest board. And then I could have angled into Rise. I could have angled into Star Guardian. Or still held the line for Prodigy. Alright, next game. Oh god, another Golden Edge Gnar baiting me. I have Rod, Glove, Cloak. What's strongest board? Like, I need to go back to basics. Strongest board is level for Aatrox. Slam. Like, there's no good item slams here, so I'm committing to Lost Streak. Or at least getting Carousel Prio. So I want Econ. Not 2-trick. I think someone else in the lobby is going Malphite Jhin, which I would have preferred to do. I could just go Trade Sector. I think it's just Trade Sector. Instead, I go Time Skip to try to fast 9. I think it's Trade Sector. Trade Sector into... Or even Stars Are Born into Kaisa. Trade Sector. I think, if anything, fix my early game. So just don't pick Time Skip. Like, that just needs to be my, like, going back to the meta mindset. My focus right now is fix my early game. So just don't take augments that fuck my early game. All right, and then line selection here. I didn't even get Rage Blade. Like, I'm gonna get to a decently high level here, but I'm poor. How do I... Okay, I think here on... I should be rolling for Jhin 2, Mundo 2. That's how I build my strongest board. I haven't rolled in stage 3 in forever, unless I'm playing reroll. But let me go back here. My stage 3, unless I'm playing reroll, those are the only situations that have 4 or more wins. I probably high rolled these. What's my strongest board? Crown Guard. Like, this screams AP though. Let me go back to the game. Was this third to last game? How contested is Yumi? 1, 2, 3. Aye. Rise was one way. So hard to pivot into those lines from this spot. This is actually the game that I... 6th, yeah. I went into Ash from this spot. Okay, I guess I'm playing around Gnar. But with these items... This spot seems just scuffed. So, if anything, I think preserving HP here gives me a higher likelihood of top 4ing. Like, if I had Jhin 2, Mundo 2, I win this, right? Yeah. Jhin 2, Mundo 2, I win that. Maybe I don't win this one. Just trying to see how many fights I could have won. Yeah, Jhin 2, Mundo 2 wins that with decent positioning, and then Into Mundo 2 should win this. Like, I could have won 4 of these fights, which I'm at 43 HP here. The start of the stage, I lost 40, half of my life in stage 3, 43. And the end game, I mean, was pretty close. Okay, so I think I roll for, this is like maybe the rare situation. My roll efficiency is very strong here. I need to actively think about times where it makes sense to roll in the early game. Look for opportunities to roll in early game when roll efficiency is high. I went 1-4. Wait, did I even win a single? No, I lost all. I went. Oh my god. Okay, I went 0-5 in this stage and lost 43 HP. I had 3 pairs and likely could have full streaked stage 3 with Jin 2 Mundo 2. In that case, I probably slam Crown Guard Vow. If I have. Alright, I think strongest board here. 3 item Mundo. Sell Nar. Actually, is it even Sell Nar? 3 item Mundo 2 with Golden Edge. That makes me probably more gold. Like, I think I hit a 2 cost in an average of what? 12 gold? In fact, I think I have shop analysis here. This is another thing I do is I can look at gold to hit 2 costs. Mundo on what stage is this? 3-1. 13.7 gold to hit 1 copy. And then Jin. Yeah. So about 14 gold. By the way, 3 item Mundo with Golden Edge Nar might generate more gold than takes to roll. If I can full streak. So 14 gold on average to hit 1 copy of Mundo and Jin. And because I had time skip, I'm already 28 gold ahead of the lobby in tempo. Already ahead of lobby gold by 28 gold. I mean, not exactly because I lost some interest, but let's say I go down to 20 interest here and hit both of them. Yeah, like I think that makes way more sense. So this is definitely a roll spot. I think roll down to like 32 makes a lot of sense. Worth rolling down to 32 gold at least. And I actually have like 4 gold in value here. And this. Okay. Next game. Shadow Clone Nar. Opponent Anvil. Here's Ticket Mouth. Okay. What alternate lines could I have picked here? I don't really have much of an opener. Could have also gone shopping spree into some type of fast 8 line. With the rod, I think that could go into Rise or Yumi. Lucian plays into Rise more, and I have no Prodigy. Without all the, like, because Yumi has 3 1 costs, Rel, Ezreal, and Garen, and it's much more reliant on those. I think this could be a Rise angle, shopping spree Rise. I don't have enough Malphites, maybe, to justify. What did I end up picking? Priz Ticket, Malf Jin. I mean, it still ended up being a 5th. If we go back to my, like, I had a really good stage 3 and 4. I mean, this is a solid top 4 angle. It's just like if I really want to play for higher cap, maybe having some more Malphites would have helped. But I think late game in this game too, I kind of just missed Varus. Let me see. Yeah, I was heavily expected to hit Varus too. I just missed. Because this comp really caps out with Varus. I had a ton of gold because I picked malicious whatever monetization and maxed out the gold value there. I just missed Varus too, so maybe this line was fine. And for sure is easy top 4. All right, next game. Oh, this is another golden edge. All right, let's see what other line I could have selected instead of that. I have golden edge. I have belt cloak. Okay, I definitely could have gone Star Guardian here. I forget what the portal was. If I went Star Guardian, yeah, this. Forget about golden edge Gnar. Strongest board. I think I should really only play Golden Edge Gnar around a strong front line. Golden Edge Gnar needs strong front line, which I do not have. So in this spot, it should. I think I still like the Kraken Slam on Zaya. And then play 4 Star Guardian into Jinx. I think this would be way higher than a 7th. And then from an augment selection, I could still take Slammin, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Mouth Jinx. Alright, Yumi game. I have Prodigy. I have Tier. Did I get baited by Golden Edge Gnar again? I have open Tier. Okay, so I did pick Yumi. I think that's fine. Took Radiant. Right, alternate line could have been Radiant Rageblade. Oh, you know what? Marcel was just telling me about this line. It should have been Radiant Rageblade into Viego. And let me look at the stats. Although Radiant Archangel's stats are really good too. In fact, it's insane. Let me see. Radiant. Yeah, Radiant Archangel could go into Yumi or into Rise. And then Radiant, yeah, Radiant Rageblade with Viego is also. But okay, let me think. My other items are Sword Tier Glove. is not good for Ash. Sword Tier Gloves. I mean, it's half of a Edge of Night, half of a Jewel Gauntlet, so quite good for Viego. And then if I want Rise or Yumi, I mean, it's half a Gunblade, half a JG, half a JG, half a Void Staff. So I think okay, so then the question is, either route seems viable. The secondary question is, what is strongest now? And I think the answer to that is playing around Callista. Like Radiant Rageblade right now, play around Callista into Viego. You know, play Juggernaut frontline. Like I should be able to win rounds. Like how many what was my early game in this game? Yeah. 0514. I went stage 2 05 and stage 3 1-4 in this game. I play around Radiant Rageblade Ballista. I should have a positive win-loss ratio in stage 2, 3. Or at least close to 50%. Okay. This game was Nico Hero. Problem this game was that who was it? Voidson hit a Nico 2 in early stage 2. Where's this Nico game? Maybe I should have just greeted Edge of Night here. No slam. What alternate line could I have taken? Is it really just play around Cat and take my top 4? Like, what's my strongest board? If I want to slam something, it's probably Stoneplate. Which probably wants to go into Yumi or Rise. If I want to play around a strong mid game, that's probably Cat. Okay, what's strong stage 2, stage 3? I should be thinking about this question more. And if I want to be strong stage 2, then I can probably play around this Callista pair. And Soul Fighter. I could also play around Malphite. I assume someone was playing Malphite this game, which is probably why I did not choose that path. Oh, bad assumption. Okay, so it's actually Malphite. Strong stage 3 is actually Malphite. Malphite Jing. I have Stoneplate and I could take like a Spirit Visage. I have a bunch of these. Stage 3 could also be Cat. My odds, like I'm pretty much set to hit Cat 2 on 3-2 without much rolling. Which I think either of these routes should be easy top 5 or 6 with higher cap if I high roll. Instead, I got 8th. So let's say I want to take those routes. Gain an item, prize fighter. I don't think it's prize fighter. Heroic grab bag. Heroic grab bag can go into Cat. Psychic Forge could be Malphite. I think it's just Heroic grab bag into into cat is like very consistent. Okay. I reviewed this game with Marcel. Oh, I mean, Flicker Blaze is really good, but let me see. Flicker Blade Ash. Um, Suspicious Trenchcoat into Caitlyn. Or Prowler's Claw. But I mean, from this spot, I do feel like Flicker Blades makes a lot of sense. The only problem is this tier. Ideally, I want to play around Udyr. This tier, the double Vow Caitlyn tech is really strong. And then Belt is half a Sterak for Jace. Could consider Suspicious Trench for Kate. The problem with this game is there were two other players that picked Flicker Blade. Oh wait, I could go Flicker Blade into Viego. Yeah, I gotta keep that line open because it was contested. I took Pandora's, which gave me perfect items anyway. But because I was contested, I kinda got screwed. Was somebody else Viego in this game? Oh, but the problem with going Viego when there's other Ashe players is all the Viegos are taking out the pool too. Okay, I need to make a note of that. So this, like, consider playing Viego if Ashe contested, but hard if 2+ Ashe players, since they'll take Viego's out of. So really, I think Viego is only from a tempo spot. So Viego only from tempo spot where at most one Ashe there. What other Flicker Blade? Jinx? I've played Jinx from this spot. Oh wait, Agma. Wait, did at any point I have access to a Lulu? I don't think so. Actually, let me go back here. Top analysis, 3 cost, Lulu. Nope. Saw my first Lulu at 3.6. Okay, so, but that should have been in my mind. I don't think it even crossed my mind at all. Okay, I need to review my artifacts list. So Fishbones, go into Kaisa, Ashe, Jin. Manazing could go into Fast9 Varus. Although I should avoid playing this. Yumi is the best. Kaisa. Flicker Blade into Cog, Ashe, Varus. Okay, so I need to add Viego here. Okay, let me see. Diego reroll, items, artifact, Flicker Blade -1. Or no, is it Diego reroll? Static Shift, Fast 9 Varus, avoid. Dawn Core into Kog'Maw. So Kog'Maw is Flicker Blade, Dawn Core, and Static Shiv. Oh, I already have Static Shiv there. Minus. And Lichbane for Kog'Maw. Innervating Locket, Prodigy Yuumi Garen, Spectral Cutlass, Jace Caitlyn, Snipers, Varus. Snipers can also be Rise. Snipers, like it's like okay. I should have that in my playbook. Lichbane to Kog'Maw, Suspicious Trenchcoat to Jace Caitlyn. Okay. And this game, Clear Mind, Crystal Gambit. Okay, this game I think I had actually a good spot. I just messed up the roll down. I won all of stage 4. I needed to win 4-1. That was the thing. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's go back to my study list. All right, so I just reviewed a bunch of my VODs. Let's see. I want to summarize my learnings. No more 9K power up. Avoid Fast 9 Varus unless amazing spot, especially in tournament. Focus on strongest board early. Sack econ if needed, if necessary. Consider what will, like, basically I need to be strong in at least stage 2 or 3. So pick a line that allows for at least one of them. Right, so like holding the Katarina pair. Okay, cool. All right, so I did this. Focus on 1 to 3 key areas at a time. I talked about that. Like, in fact, I'm gonna write down right now. Strongest sack econ. Strongest board stage 2. That's what I'm gonna focus on my games today. Right, now I'm gonna do some of my training app. By the way, this is not public right now, but if you are like, because I'm focused on competitive right now, I basically set up a vibe coded a tool that will capture screenshots of these pro players and then lets me make predictions and I can compare it. I eventually would like to get it to the point where I can like click on each one and then like make it public and see public stats on what other people picked and maybe even add like a discussion board around like why people did this. Ideally, I could set it up so that I am able to validate people's usernames and elo, and so then you can see like other players by skill, like sorted by elo, why they made the decisions that they did, and then maybe have like an upvote system with a global leaderboard to like incentivize top players to post. That way, maybe they can have in their profile like a coaching link or something. So if that's something like that is interesting to you, let me know in the comments. Because right now I don't know how many people are actually interested in something like this, and whether that's even worth doing. So I think if I did do that, I'd probably need to charge to make it worth my time. Plus, like setting up the server, be able to cover server costs and like a lot of this is very image intensive and like bandwidth intensive. So, anyways, if that's interesting to you, let me know in the comments. And if someone, says they're interested, upvote the comment. And the more feedback I get that there is interest in it, the more likely I am to actually do that in the competitive off season. But this is actually the best way I've found to do all of this studying is going back to the meta mindset around deliberate practice, right? Making a prediction, evaluating accuracy, getting error feedback. Like this is the way I'm doing it. So in this spot, this looks like it's on rel. Strongest board is probably spiky shells, slam, either adaptive or spirit visage. Yeah, because the armor and damage is more valuable in the early game. So I think this is spiky shells. I don't think it's Star Sailor. Spiky shells, then living wall. Okay, spiky shell. Got that one right. All right, this looks like it's on. What unit is this? Some backliner with Rageblade. And probably going to be a JG on it. We are not streaking. I think this is Bludgeoner to deal the most damage. This Senna. I have no idea what this unit is. I think it's Bludgeoner, but if we think we're weak and we just want to generate some gold, it could be Midas Touch. I think it's one of these, probably Bludgeoner, but I can see Midas Touch as well. Okay, yeah, Bludgeoner. Oh, that was Jin. All right, here we have. This is probably on Ari, I assume, or maybe this is on Malzahar. Not sure who this is on. I think we have enough frontline, so I don't think it's Caretaker. I don't think it's Classy, so I think it's just Fairy Tale. Yeah, Fairy Tale. This is pressed event, by the way. Okay, this is now probably on Jinx. I think late, this is stage 3, it's not Golden Edge. In fact, if this is on Jinx, he probably should not have put it on Jinx. Because both Golden Edge and Midas Touch will be removed in stage 4. So I think it's Desperado either way, but I think this is actually a learning to don't fruit your main carry in late stage 3 because those will be removed from the power up pool. I think this is Desperado. Okay, I guess it's Midas Touch for a round. I guess he's gonna refruit anyway because Desperado's not that great. Okay, that makes sense. He's refruiting Jinx. Definitely Sky Piercer for Star Guardian dual damage. Yeah, Sky Piercer. I think dual carry Yumi. Never would have considered that. That's pretty clever. Especially with the AP items instead of Ari. Oh, that's clever. Um Again, we don't need more shielding because we have the golem. I think it's just fairy tale. I guess classy gives more mana regen, which does make sense with scaling because we have so much frontline. Okay, I could see classy, but fairy tale will be okay too. We don't get the yeah. My tool is not perfect in that sense. That's the other downside of if I try to make this tool public. I have a hard time releasing stuff to the public that is not in a very high quality scenario. So like right now, for my own purposes, I would just hack this and like okay, whatever. But if I release it to the public, I would feel an obligation to clean up stuff like this, and I feel like that's just generally not worth doing unless I'm like charging for it. I'm also curious, like what are people willing to pay for a tool like this? Okay, Dink memes. We have looks like Ash. If we don't have anti-heal, then Solar Breath makes sense. Otherwise, Desperado or Shadow Clone. Probably Desperado. I think Shadow Clone makes less sense after the nerf unless you have like some really broken artifact or radiant. I think this is Solar Breath over Desperado. Okay, Solar Breath, and then Frontline probably Body Change or Standalone. I don't actually know what his Frontline is. I assume Body Change. Okay, yeah. This is Malphite. Wait, why does it say Atomic here and then another? Okay, I guess he must have just taken Atomic. Atomic Malphite is strong early game. Also don't know. This looks like he's probably picking Rise. I don't know if he has anti-heal. If he doesn't, then or Shred or anti-heal. Actually, it's not Solar Breath because for Mentor, Udyr has anti-heal built in. So it's Keen Eye if he doesn't have Shred. Otherwise, could be Stormbender. Even if he does have Shred, Keen Eye can make sense. I think Keen Eye probably over Stormbender. Okay, yeah. This looks like a Kale over 9,000 check or final form check, and he missed, so it doesn't even matter. He's just gonna sell it. Okay, that's what we got there. All right, let's go to augments. Selection. I'm not gonna go through all of these. I'll go through some of the top players. I added stage 1 unit holds so that I'll be testing myself on that now too. Open vest. This is augment round swap. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to capture all the oh wait, it does capture it. Oh, but I don't get all of the. Okay, well I'm just gonna do stage 1. My system is not set up for augments moving earlier. Okay, open vest. Let me actually pull up my unit hold tier list. Okay, so open vest. Who's in my tier 1? The Ezreal and Syndra. And then Kennen and Aatrox. I mean, they're all pretty solid. We have a Nefiri here. I think we hold Ezreal and Syndra is 2 gold. And then consider selling the Nefiri and the Ballista for Kennen and Sivir pair. But then we're all backline. Oh no, we have 1 Kennen. Oh, he commits the Soul Fighters. Huh. I guess without Rod or Tier, he's saying I'm not gonna pick up the Prodigy units. Instead, strongest is the Juggernauts. No, he did pick it up. He sold the GP for them. Okay. On board, we still have the Nefiri and the Callista. I think this is now Rel, Syndra. Commit the Syndra pair in the Rel. And then we want to buy this Janna. I think we could sell. I think that would depend on the third item component drop. Oh. We did a cat power-up check first. Okay, we do have really good cat item components. We're looking for Hodge, Guardbreaker, Edge of Night. Okay, I need to play around cat a little bit more. Tier 2. Okay, so with glove, cat should be a power-up check. I still think we pick up the Syndra pair. And we also have three Crystal Gambit. All right, we get another augment in stage 2 from this spot. Cluttered Mind. We want to play towards. Okay, what are the options? We can play towards cat. We can play towards Yuumi. We only have 2 item components. We can do Crystal Gambit into what, like Star Guardian? I think we roll right to. Cluttered Mind can go into Yuumi or Star Guardian. I guess prep could be cat. Transfer student. Transfer students could go into cat. Mace's Will helps us get to cat as well. If we want to do cat, we could go either of the right two. If we want to do Yuumi or Star Guardian, we can do left. Let's scout the lobby. This is probably Rise, kind of AP or Yuumi. This is Star Guardian. AP, Yuumi probably. Oh, my scraper got messed up. Oh, that's sad. Okay. I think if we okay, what is likely to be stronger? What's the highest AVP here? I mean, over 9,000, I think can give us a consistent top 4 or 5. How does the augment being earlier change this analysis? Yeah, it probably helps. Wait, also Cluttered can give us 2-star Nefiri and then almost get us to 2-star Callista. I don't know if that makes a difference. Cluttered also gets us Syndra too. Okay, I think it's Cluttered because it gives us Syndra too. That's strongest board. I need to focus on strongest board. Okay, yeah. And then, okay, I'm not gonna have the later game analysis. I think end game, this is most likely Yuumi. Backup could be Star Guardian. I think it's like very highly likelihood to be Yuumi. And prediction of placement really depends on the items, but I think this could be this. He'll have Rel pair too. This is a top 4, 3rd or 4th. We got first. Oh, this. How did he get into Pastime Ferris from this spot? Oh, double econ because of the earlier augment. I rarely ever slam AD on AP champions. And this again is probably tempo. I think go back to his. Okay. Yeah, it's buggy. All right, let me go to some of the games from yesterday. All right, Setsuko. Open Cloak, Prismatic Party. Hold the pair. I think we want to definitely hold the cannon. I'd be willing to sell. Oh, but Juggernaut is our strongest front line. I think we need the cannon though. I think we can sell the Vi for cannon and Rel. Okay. We have open tier. This looks like it's probably Rise if we're playing around this Lucian. Means we need frontline. Buy the cannon, commit both cannons. And then Zach for more frontline. Oh, he's checking Kaisa. What's Kaisa? I need to play around Kaisa more. Kaisa, power up. Max attack. Attack expert. Max attack is scaling, so you want to check that. I think over 9,000 is probably not as good now. So max attack is what you want to check for Kaisa. Let me actually check if any of these sites have updated Kaisa. Yeah, attack expert, sky piercer, bludgeoner. Attack expert, max attack. All right, let me remove over 9,000. I need to stop taking over 9,000 and add bludgeoner here. Okay, I think shred is just like having another item. Sky piercer. I guess since we have the cannon, depending on this item component drop will affect. Okay, so we have Lucian 2. 12 tier cloak. No good item slams. Not middle. Not left. Please, willing to play around Katarina. Oh, I guess we have Hodge. Still don't like that. Buried Treasure seems solid. Or Tacticians. I like Buried Treasure since we don't have good item slams right now. Huh, he likes Tactician's Trish Kitchen. Okay, he got Star Guardian. Gonna play around Jinx. Full streaking, so he wants something to preserve streak ideally. None of these seem good. Roll right, left. Really? Willing to take Blazing Soul. I guess the AS is good for Jinx. You're kind of wasting some of the AP. I mean, either way, that's going to be strongest right now. So that makes sense. I got to focus on strongest more. I'm not playing around strongest. And probably want more combat or items. You probably already had enough gold from streaking. Radiant. Radiant. All right, item, Star Guardian. By the way, for this, you can just type in your filters and then save filters to quickly see it. And then go to items, and then Radiant. Radiant's actually not that good. Surprising. I guess Star Guardian, Radiant's better for like single team carry, and Star Guardian has like kind of spread out power, so maybe it's not this. Red buff, blue. Do we have anti-heal? We don't. So red buff, blue buff, champion, and dupe. Not bad. Then game, death cap. Okay, I think it's roll right. Kind of like middle better than left. Roll right, left. Oh, uplink. Uplink. And we have emblem and this. I think it's uplink. He could go for prismatic Star Guardian. Oh no, he takes the red buff, blue buff. Okay. And then I think his placement here is probably pretty good. Top 3. Oh, 7th. Interesting. So he must have missed on his roll down. Wonder if I can actually see Setsuko use MetaTFT. Which game was this? Our Guardian from yesterday. No, he doesn't use the MetaTFT. Okay. Do last one for Robin, and I'll go into some of the other training that I do. Not loading properly. There we go. Okay, we have Bo. This is a Garen. Hold the Malphite line. Hold the Syndra. I would sell this. 1, 2, 3. Commit the Syndra. Oh, interesting. Got the Kaisa. I mean, I would probably buy the Syndra. We bought the Lucian over the Syndra. Okay. All right, same thing with Marcel, right? Like, you hold the Syndra line if you have rods and tiers. Okay, so I think I need to be playing more towards like really think more critically about the item components. If I don't have rod tier, don't hold the prodigy units. The bow, hold the Lucian, can still play towards Rise. Okay, this is a Kaisa game probably. Should probably check. Got Sky Piercer. And then You redo your power up and slam LW. Right now, you want something if artifacts. Living Forge Kaisa. Yep. And you got Innervating Locket. Okay, so this is just this is a Caitlyn Jace game probably. Radiant's good. What are we looking for? Radiant Stack, Radiant Shojin. Roll the dice on Jace is good too. Especially since we're trying to itemize Garen as well. Kind of like roll the dice. I could see Radiant Relics too, but I would pick roll the dice. Okay, probably picks Radiant Relics. All right. And then oh god, Radiant Steadfast. Is that actually good? Radiant Steadfast. Where is that even? Doesn't it show up here? Am I blind? I don't even see it here. All right, last pick. Lots of swords makes sense. Yeah. Oh, uplink because he has so many items. Uplink makes sense, and it helps Kieran like keep casting and healing. Wait, trifecta. Isn't it just trifecta? Yeah, I think it's trifecta. Oh, uplink. Okay. There's more HP for your Garen. You have tons of items. You're gonna get another artifact at some point. All right, this is probably top 2. Okay, got first. Innervating Locket. Should be considering into Caitlyn as well. I mainly had it for Yumi. Is Caitlyn reroll? Let's see here. Jace 3, Kate 3, 3 items each. Artifacts, any unit. Innervating Locket. Oh my god, minus 1.1. Let me see what Yumi is. Innervating Locket. Minus 0.8. It's actually even better to go into Jace Kate from this line. Okay. That's good to know. Okay, let's do some more training. I actually need to head out to I'm doing some physical training. I have a physical trainer, strength training that I need to head out to in about 25 minutes. So let's try to do this efficiently. Where am I? All right, we just did those two. MetaTFT, positioning data, and early game. So if you use the MetaTFT, you can look at positioning. Are there any, actually, I kind of want to look at Caitlyn in middle. You can see win rate and frequency here, but there's a about Jace. Okay. There's a counter positioning that Marcel was talking about where you go. Let's say enemy carry is here. Normally you put in the side, right? And then if this is their main tank, they can block you here. And the counter positioning to that is you go here and here, and you put your other unit here. So now if they have a unit here, this will either walk up here and then this will fire here. And if they're opposite side, then you want frontline Jace like this. Normally you're like all side, right? But if they guess correct side, you want to go like this. Say they have a unit here. So then this gets direct line towards that corner. And then the counter positioning is they have main carry move here. And then the counter to that is you go. Actually, I guess you either way you can't because you're gonna go opposite. But they make their carry more vulnerable. Okay, so that's positioning data. Early game, another thing I analyze is this early game analysis. And what I actually like to do is I can use this for my unit tiers for holding in stage 1. That's why, like, you know, this is really strong. But you can also know this for Soul Fighter is quite strong. But these Prodigy lines, I gotta play around this line more to go into Mentor Rise. But you can look at transitions to see what people play into in the next stage. And then what endgame board that goes into. And you can also reverse engineer by saying what's. Well, I didn't realize Rise is the strongest board in stage 4. I gotta play around this more. Yeah, you basically you go into stage 4, you can go transitions from the previous stage to see how do people build into this. I'll spend time doing that as well. Okay, between games, figure out at least one learning from each bot 4. I'll basically do what I did with the VOD review, but because the game's fresh, I'll have a clear idea. And then I write that down and take screenshots. So like yesterday, there's a Crystal Gambit game where I cashed out on 3-6, but I was too slow in rolling down, and I really needed to stabilize. I was on 9 loss, and I still had 30 gold here. And I lost this fight, but if I had just rolled this 30 gold, hit a stronger frontline, I would have won this fight, which when you have 7 Crystal Gambit makes a huge difference in your ability to win out. Oh, here I forgot about Clear Mind after I hit Ash 2. I gotta sell that. Oh, here I used MetaTFT's gold to hit to figure out that from this spot, average cost amount of gold to hit one copy of Nico is 20 gold. So I'm not expected to hit, and yet I rolled down to around 10 gold. So in this spot, I should just sit and wait until 4-1. This is actually Marcel's feedback as well. So anyway, these are all game reviews that I did after the game with screenshots. So then I can review it and remind myself. Review the learnings regularly. So going back and reviewing the stuff I wrote down, take notes, process of writing down. So basically whenever I'm doing all these VOD reviews, I'm updating all of my notes, right? You saw me doing that. Comp patch stats versus last. So I'll go through. I have this spreadsheet where I update the stats from this comp list and update the stats. So actually, I kind of want to do this at least for Mentor Rise. That's been going up 4.3, 1.1, 11.53. The other thing of doing this almost like on a daily basis is that I can see the trends. So right now this has been going up consistently. 9.52, Star Guardian, Jinx 4.5, Malphite 6.14, 60, Ash 4.3, 0.9, 11.55. Then Varus. Everything else is about the same. I gotta play this Rise board more. I think, in fact, after looking at this, I'm gonna move it up to S tier. Yeah, like for this play rate, this AVP is insane. And it's still being optimized because of the socialite. Okay. So I shared that with you. Ambulate, notes. I don't think I have enough time to go over all of that. We'll see if we have time for that. I do also want to go through the rest of this. All right, I already went over reviewing your VODs. Twitch, I mean, I think for Twitch, you can just kind of do the same thing. Like what I do for like VODs is I'll just go to specific points in the game. Like even stage 1, like basically at the start of the round, pause, predict, play, compare result, right? It's exactly what I did in my training app. MetaTFT library. Under tools, they have a VOD library, so you can actually search, like if you want to get better understanding of this Mentor Rise comp, you could just click play and it'll go to that Twitch game. For replay library, this you have to download, but you can actually go into the game and click around as if you were playing the game. And this captures games that are not streamed. So like if Setsuko's not streaming or you miss the game and he doesn't save his VODs, you can go in and see what happened in this game. Watch live streams and ask questions. I don't do this enough because I feel like watching live streams is less efficient than looking at VODs, especially if you can jump around. But the added benefit is you can ask questions, especially for streamers that are educationally oriented, like Robin Songs, Marcel, who are receptive to questions. This can be a great way of learning. Follow top players on X. You can take a look at the people I follow. Go to my follow list and follow these people. Create your own list, and I will check Twitter like pretty regularly, at least once a day, because people are like right now. There's a lot of people that are talking about what's the best rotation strategy for this socialite for Mentor Rise. And there's just new information innovations happening all the time, right? MetaTFT just came up with a new filter system. Basic came out with some information. Oh, really? Casante's better than Malphite late game? And then I'll confirm that with. All right, let's see. So I will use this to go to Malphite Jin reroll, and you can just specify these in your own results. Fact. Okay. Was the Asante 2 stars with 3 items? 0 here, 3.3 versus. Looks like it's still better, but. At level 6, you want to play 4 protectors instead of Gnar. Okay, so then basically I'll do this regularly and then I'll come in here and update those. So level 6, 4 protector, greater than more snipers. This is like me taking notes, right? Augments. Opponent buffet. Yeah, you need a lot of items. Whereas items. Playing for days. Deadlier blades, all that shimmers. They're hot. He likes double strike more than artistic KO. Also consider, what was it? A spiky shell for early game. Double strike. Double strike again. 25% chance to trigger an additional attack. Okay, that's good to know. Okay. What else do I do? Okay. Check our competitive. So I go to Reddit and I check for news here. Sometimes there's some like new information here that has some, especially when there's like new comps being discovered almost every day in the first patch cycle. This was really important. Okay, so I've seen most of these already. Use sites like TFT Academy, TFT Flow, TFT Tips, TFT Handbook. So I'll usually go through all of these to look for updates, and this is how I cross-reference and fill in all of my comp page stuff, including Twitter, right? But like, I'll go to comps, I'll analyze. Like lately, I've been trying to study this Mentor Rise board a lot, so I'll see if they have any new information in here. Like they just updated Socialite. Also, Zyra, Lee Sin, Volley are. I have not included Lee Sin. Okay, so Lee Sin greater than Kali, and then Zyra is also not. And Yone. All right, TFT Flow. They also have. Let me see if they changed anything in. Yeah, he's still labeling this as Senna comp, so I think GM Blue's a little bit outdated on this. Oh, Viego reroll. I've not really looked at this. Weights. Play Nefiri before Gwen. Nefiri can item hold. Rageblade, Edge of Night. The same items as Ash. Sky Piercer on Samira, so you don't need to build Shred. You want stretchy on Diego. Flicker blades, radiant rage blades, sniper's focus. This is titles. You can just translate to English. I wonder if he has any new information here. I think I already got all this. But you don't need anti-heal for this Rise comp. And then Robin's stuff was updated 8 days ago. So you really need to pay attention to how like fresh their information is. And that's why I look across all of them and Twitter and Reddit to get the most recent information. All right, read DataTFT pro tips. Pro tips here. They have a lot of new information. I create a video every now and then for this. The other thing I like to do here is their rolldown simulator. You can practice like level 8 with like 100 gold. Let me actually do this with Rise. Do I already have it in my team planner? Yeah. I need to practice this Rise board. I should not build that. Well, I guess building that's fine. Still missing. Who am I missing? Kobuko. Okay, yeah. So I'll practice this every now and then to get myself familiar with comps, and then also to get a better idea of how much gold I need to hit. Review augment tier list. So here you can go into items and augments actually. So especially when I'm like doing my predictions on augments, I'll try to take a look at where do some of these sites have these tiers listed. And so that's useful. They also have item tier lists, and I'll compare it with my like kind of tier list for slams. Analyze stats. You already saw me look at stats a lot. Review match history. So this is one thing I do regularly is look at match history. I usually go NA and I filter current patch to see who's climbing most, especially if there's movement at the top. In general, I'll look at the top players anyway. And if they're like playing right now, so I'll go through like, I think memes moved up 600. High Day, Marcel's been playing a lot, Weijin, Wigwug. And I'll go into their match history to see, especially if they've played since the last time I've looked at their match history, see if there's any patterns of their meta read that's different from my assessment. So Kaisa, Star Guardian, Varus, Yumi, Zac, Radiant Strikers, huh? Yumi, Katarina 5th, Varus, Diego, Rageblade, Edge of Night wants to be JG, I think. This was Senna reroll, didn't work out well. Star Guardian, didn't work out well. Second with the other Star Guardian. Varus, Kaisa. Decent amount of Star Guardians, but Star Guardian games are not 6-6. Like his Star Guardian games, it seems like Star Guardian is more of like a top 6 comp, low cap. I want to play from tempo. Okay. Spencer played 3 days ago. Elites played a day ago. Senna, yeah, it seems like you really want to play around Rise. Like this, he hit, but he's still, I guess, missing Jarvan too. Varus. Like it seems like there's a lot of cases where you hit Varus and you still don't top 4. You can just get killed by a high roller. Oh, Radiant Shojin Kog'Maw. Rise. Playing a good amount of Rise. Rise. Okay, T-Light's got the Rise tech. Rise. Or no, this is Varus. Varus. Ashe. Yumi. Varus. Ashe. Rise. Okay. Rise, Varus, Rise. Lots of Rise. All right, I gotta play more Rise. Varus. Oh, Viego. First. What did he beat? Malphite Jhin, Yumi, Rise, Yumi, Rise, Isa. Okay, play this from tempo spot. And capped out with a 2-star Gwen. Ashe, Star Guardian, Jhin, Ashe. Wow, Biss and still got 4th with a Udyr 3. What did it lose to? Wow. Oh, okay. That's another reason this Rise board is good, because you got backline access. You can kill off those Ashes and Yumis. Nice, okay. Equation's been playing a lot. Juggernaut, TF. Crystal Gambit, Star Guardian, Jace Kate, Rise. Oh, wait, that was 2 days ago. Wigwag played 3 days ago. Okay. All right, I think I need to play more Rise. That's my takeaway. Analyze your own match history. So the way I do that is I go to tactics.tools, and then I can go to units to see which units I've been having success with. So Kennen is playing around, usually that's playing around Malphite Jhin. Let me go last 20. So this is all Malphite Jhin, Yumi, and then what has not been working? Ashe has not been working. So then I could use this information to go back to my VOD reviews to see why Ashe isn't working, so I can get better at that line. Or I could say, maybe I should not be playing this line. Yeah, Varus is not working out for me. Rise, I think I'm still learning how to play. Okay. Get coaching. So you can go to MetaTFT. There's a lot of people on Twitter that also on their profiles say they do coaching. But you can go here and there's a lot of players who, yeah, do coaching. Rosif, Solus, Appies. I start off with Appies. They really range Sub-Zero Arc in cost. I forget how much Appies is at now. I think most of them are between like $30 to $50 per session. But yeah, that really was a huge unlock. I also do some coaching as well, but my rate, like, because I don't really, I've done like executive coaching for startup founders. My rate's $100 per session for usually about an hour. But the way I coach is more around fundamentals and like this meta layer of like learning how to learn. So if you're interested in that kind of coaching, you can add me on Discord, at Learning TFT. You can add friends in game and talk strategy. That's actually how Marcel and I got connected. He added me in game because we were playing in a bunch of games together, and then he added me on Discord, and then we just started talking there. You can join TFT Discord servers. Like I think TFT Academy has one. Like Voidson has one. Like a lot of top players have their own Discord server. Appies, Mordog has one. Like there's the TFT Plus premium Discord server. So lots of different ways that you can study TFT. All right, I think that covers all the ways that I study, or at least all the ways that I recall studying right now. And you kind of got to see that in action. I would love to hear ways that you study and maybe stuff that I missed. Definitely with my training app, I'd love to hear your feedback if that's something that you're interested in using. Because if it is, then I might invest more time in the off season to doing that. And then also just generally for the meta mindset, if you happen to watch that portion, I'd love to hear your thoughts about that and how they apply to your life as well. So I know this was a long one, but really this is what I do like pretty much every day. This degree of studying instead of playing is responsible for most of my progress in TFT and my ability to play so efficiently. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.